It ain't about black or white, this side or this side. Just be honest with the public about the investigation. Y'all haven't given over the phone to nobody, not local police or the FBI. They're getting ready to present evidence to a grand jury. They don't have a phone.
What the agreement was that the DA's office, and this is the Jackson County DA's office, as well as our forensic team, and possibly the FBI, were going to together download and examine the phone.
So there's a press conference that Benjamin Crump had at the NABJ, the National Association of Black Journalists. Now, I want y'all to put your thinking cap on, and I want you to, if you were a betting person, do you think I'm welcome at that place? I'm just saying, because it's funny that black people are mad at me for doing real journalism. I'm not saying all, because we know the same black people know what it is, but why are black people mad at me because I interviewed, and then the black people didn't want to talk to me? Benjamin Crump and them, I reached out to them, they didn't want to talk to me. And then the other side reached out to me, and we were open to do an interview with anybody. And they mad because I won't be biased for black people. That's called stupidity. And the same people that would invoke Martin Luther King is mad because I won't judge a person by the color of their skin. I'm judging them by the content of their character, and they mad. So here's the press conference of them addressing the cell phone issue, because as you know, if you've watched me, you won't hear from other people because they have a vested interest to lie to you. But if you listen to me, you know that the family and the attorneys representing the family did not give over the cell phone to authorities for them to investigate and potentially make arrests according to accusations that things had been deleted from the phone. Here's their response in their special press conference at the NABJ. Roll it.
What the agreement was that the DA's office, and this is the Jackson County DA's office, as well as our forensic team, and possibly the FBI, were going to together download and examine the phone. So it's done one time with everybody together, right? This is very common in the law. I mean, what you all may be more used to is when there's a terrible car accident, and then there's an examination of that car, and everybody comes together one time. They don't move that car around, and everybody does their own thing. This is what is supposed to happen. We're waiting for the DA to determine the time, the place, the date. Let us know, and we are going to be there with our forensics team and anybody else, but it's done one time, one examination. We're ready for it to happen.
All right, so they alluded to Nancy Grace. If you're out there, hey, Nancy. They don't have the phone. They haven't given the phone over. Clearly, I said it on your show, and now everybody else can hear it. Let me tell you why this is nonsensical and why it's hypocritical in part and why it frustrates me. Y'all got to think, I'm not looking at this where I'm on team black or white. I'm just Brandon Tatum observing what is happening in this case. Why would she give an analogy of a singular car accident where they do an examination of that car accident one time? Well, the autopsy is not a one-time occurrence. You guys had a secondary autopsy done. Why can't you give the phone over to investigators and then have a second extraction done for your people? Why do you have to wait a month? Like, the thing is I don't know what the prosecutors are evaluating in this situation, but this cannot be precedent that's set that a family get a chance to say, I don't believe nothing that the state does, and we need everything to be delayed and evaluated with our team and their team on every single case that happens in the state of Mississippi. There's been 3,500 black men, black women have been killed by black people in Mississippi in the last 10 years. Do you think every family get a chance to sit down and say, my child is a victim, we have to go over every forensic extraction and evidence with the DA? Every family get a chance to do this. That's not reasonable. Let them finish because it's a lot more to get into. Roll it.
Nolan birthday is next Wednesday, August 19th. it is going to be extremely difficult for his mother, his father, and his family. Because this August 19th will be like no other that they've ever had for the last 19 years. I mean, it's a milestone when your child gets to be 18 years old. You try to breathe a little easier, Reverend. Now you say, man, we almost got them there. They're at the cusp of being an adult, cusp of manhood.
As a member of the Congressional Black Caucus, I'm the second vice chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. We are demanding a full federal investigation. Cash Patel, we're demanding a full federal investigation as to what has actually happened to Nolan Wells.
So let me put this in perspective and we'll let them finish. This is why I'm frustrated with how they're acting. It's embarrassing to a certain degree. They come out and they do a press conference like this and they go, we are demanding that the boys that they are accusing of potentially killing Nolan have already given their phones over to the FBI voluntarily. Why don't you tell the public that they are cooperating with the FBI already? It's because you don't want the public to know that the other side is doing anything so people can continue to foster violence against other innocent people that are not involved in the murder of Nolan Wells. This is what frustrates me. These people can be honest. It ain't about black or white, this side or this side. Just be honest with the public about the investigation. Y'all haven't given over the phone to nobody. Not local police or the FBI. They're getting ready to present evidence to a grand jury. They don't have a phone. They may very well have determined that, or may not be able to determine that anybody did anything to Nolan. But if there was something deleted from the phone that is a crime of tampering with evidence, people will go to jail. But they're getting ready to present to the grand jury with no phone. Therefore, if somebody did something, they have no evidence. And the grand jury is going to come back and say nobody did anything. And they're going to be mad when y'all the ones didn't give the phone over. You can give the phone to them the day after he died. If you suspect things have been, so it can be preserved. And they could extract it. Send it to your people. Let them extract it. A secondary extraction will allude to tampering if the state decided to tamper with the phone. It frustrates me that our country is divided because people are stupid and evil. It don't make any sense to me. Let her finish.
We want to make sure that every stone is unturned because his life matters. All of our children's and our families' lives matter. And we must fight back. We must stand up and we must demand accountability for this family's loss.
Why are you demanding accountability when there is nothing that has happened that will lead you to believe that they're not doing a fair investigation? If I sit here before Benjamin Crump and say, what have they done that's unfair? They lied and said that the sheriff made a determination. He cannot. It was the day they found his body. He did not make a determination. Why are you lying to the public? He said, at this point, we do not have evidence of foul play. It appears to be a drowning, but there needs to be an investigation. That is what was said. But they get on TV and they blast it out there like, look, he already made a determination and nobody know nothing. It's impropriety because at some point in history in Mississippi, black people were done wrong. So therefore, every investigation is false. Every white person is wrong. That's not fair or reasonable. Let Stu Head give another statement. Roll it.
It's about the evidence, nothing else. And this family has always said from day one, even when I called Reverend Allen, we talked to him, they have been consistent. We want to know what happened to our child. Everything else is just, it's just clickbait and everything. It's about what happened to our child. Black press, NABJ, we need you now more than ever to keep everybody focused. What happened to this 18-year-old black teenager in Mississippi? Because there have been questions when you look at the history of the Deep South where young black people are unalive and nobody ever gets any answers. Well, we want Nolan Wells not to be like many others that came before him.
And that is why, as I said earlier, August 28th, the anniversary.
And this bobblehead is going to talk about marching somewhere. They're marching. They're demanding the FBI. They're demanding accountability with no evidence that there's no accountability. They're doing an investigation just like they do with everybody other 35 other black people that have been murdered. Why are you insinuating that they're not? That is leading to chaos, drama, and division that does not need to happen. And why does it always seem to be black people doing this? I feel like when white people get killed, even if it's suspicious, they're not out here marching and crying and spitting on everybody because what happens is when you cry wolf so much, people don't believe you. When it comes out that Nolan drowned, what do we got? What do we do to believe from the National Black Caucus and all this? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have to talk about this topic. It's called cyclospora, and you ain't gonna remember the name of it, but just know if you eat something and you have explosive diarrhea, you probably want to remember this. This is one of probably the most viral foodborne illnesses that is going around the country. A lot of you guys have heard a lot of chatter about it. Let's put up this chart. It appears that there's about 4,100 people just last week, according to the CDC, that has been, contaminated by this illness. And that brings the total to about 30,000 people that have it across the nation. Now, I know that people may think, well, it's 300 million people that live in the United States of America. But when it's you at work or on an airplane with uncontrollable diarrhea, I think it means a lot to you. And you know who they're going to blame, right? They're trying to blame RFK. Like they always do. They cannot be reasonable. They have to blame RFK for what's going on in this outbreak. So I want to talk about this because I think people need to know or have solutions for if this happens to you and you end up eating something that makes you ill. We have some remedies for you. And I want to bring in Allison Karpowicz, she's a health advisor at Brightcore, and y'all know our friends over at Brightcore always have incredible information for us. And she's going to share some preventative measures as it relates to this cyclospora. Allison, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. This cyclospora outbreak is so much more serious than people may realize. People get giggly when they hear terms like explosive diarrhea, but the fact of the matter is over 1.5 million people die each year from foodborne related illnesses. Now, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the count now stands at 707 laboratory confirmed cases, but the agency is aware of more than 11,500 additional cases that require more investigation. Now, obviously, they're hiding the real numbers. Like you said, there are over 27,937 cases across the country. And just knowing the deception of the CDC and other government agencies, the numbers are probably even higher than that. Anecdotally, I know a lot of people who have had it, so I definitely suspect it's higher. Now, I'm going to give your audience some very valuable tips about what to avoid so they can minimize their risk of contracting this terrible parasite. But first, I think it's important to address what you said about RFK Jr. being blamed, which is just a ridiculous assertion. So under both Biden and Obama administrations, there were multiple salmonella outbreaks resulting in thousands of illnesses and hospitalizations. In this case, I want to point out recent changes made by the CDC and FDA, who cut their funding and have cut back on food safety surveillance. The CDC narrowed required food net pathogen reporting from 8 diseases to just Salmonella and E. coli. And the FDA has reduced routine inspections and delayed food traceability rules amid ongoing foodborne outbreaks. And everything that these institutions have done since the outbreak started has been a complete mess. So the FDA initially identified the source of the outbreak as iceberg lettuce from Taylor Farms, which prompted Taylor Farms to issue a full recall of all of their lettuce products. Then they reversed the position, saying that the test result was a false positive. How does that happen? I don't know. Taylor Farms continued the full recall anyway. It's a mess, and they have yet to identify a confirmed particular source for this outbreak.
Yeah, I think we should bring up a clip. And I think we have one in the. Oh, here we go. We have the clip ready. Let's roll this clip. I think this is valuable for the audience.
Now at 5, the outbreak of that nasty stomach bug, cyclospora, continues growing in North Carolina. We received some new numbers from the state health department today. There are now 561 cases statewide, up from 307 cases last week. A majority of those cases are actually in Wake County. The county reporting 350 cases compared to just 295 yesterday. DeJuan Hogarth joins us live now. And DeJuan, health officials are still trying to track down the source of this outbreak. They have some thoughts, but nothing definitive yet.
Yes, Stephen, that's even right. As of tonight, we're receiving new information from the State Department of Health and Human Services about the potential causes for the cyclosporiasis outbreak here in North Carolina. And they now say that lettuce, which has commonly been linked to cases across multiple other states, is currently not being tested as a potential link here in North Carolina. New questions tonight after state health leaders say lettuce, one of the foods commonly linked to the multi-state cyclosporiasis illness, had this to say about how North Carolina is handling the disease.
At this time, we are not conducting any testing of lettuce products related to the cyclosporiasis outbreak.
You know what's funny to me is that these people, I think the corruption runs so crazy and deep. What does she mean they're not testing for it when we see this crazy outbreak?
Can you believe that they're not even bothering to test the lettuce while cases continue to spike? It feels like it's been going on forever. Like, I just want to eat a salad without any fear of getting this parasite. Now, I want to point out that one of the reasons why identifying the source of this parasite is so difficult is that it does have a long incubation period. So many of these people don't even show symptoms until about 14 days after consuming the parasite-ridden food. So it's extremely hard to trace where exactly did this come from when it's been 2 weeks. That's why it's incredibly important to know what to avoid to reduce our chances of getting sick. This is not just lettuce. That's how we thought it started, but it's spread to a variety of fruits and vegetables, all healthy foods, which is really sad. There's a lot of common foods that are suspected to carry these pathogens. That includes all types of salad greens, not just lettuce, cilantro, basil, parsley, raspberries, blueberries, green onions, and snow peas. And that's only the current list of suspects. So if you go to the mainstream media, they're going to give you some less than optimal advice.
Yeah, let's pull up our next graphic. You know, it's funny and it's sad because you don't know what to eat. You don't want to eat something and then end up having it. And to your point at the beginning, it's funny because I think I had it at some point, like months ago. I mean, insane amount of you know what going on. And it's funny that it's just like COVID. You know, at one point they go, "Oh, we found the first case," and it's like, no, a whole bunch of people had this before. But anyway, let's get back to the topic here. Here is one of the graphics here. Put that back on the screen. I want to make sure I look at that. It says, "What to order instead? Lettuce-free meals from McDonald's." I don't even. Maybe not even eating at McDonald's would be a start. But anyway,
Exactly.
you know, let's continue. Let's continue.
Yeah, so as you can see on that chart, they're giving you suggestions for fast food menu items that don't include lettuce. So we're talking about ultra-processed foods that are missing the one healthy ingredient, vegetables. So don't get the wrong idea. You should still continue to eat fruits and vegetables and other healthy foods. Now, the thing about parasites and other microbial threats like fungi, bacteria, and viruses is that you can be exposed to them, but they're only able to multiply in environments where they're able to thrive. So just like COVID, you need to take care of yourself. You've heard it before, but it needs to be repeated. About 80% of our immune system is our gut, and that's the balance of good and bad bacteria. It ultimately determines how vulnerable we are to these pathogens. So you could have two very different people with two distinct microbiomes. They can eat the same exact quantity of tainted food. One might get sick and die, and the other may never get sick at all. Now, because the weakness or strength of our immune system will either allow the pathogen to multiply to a degree where we become ill, or it will fight back quickly enough before they grow to a quantity that results in illness. I always like to tell people this. So if you know Kim Bright, she's the founder of our company. She's 71 years old now. She literally never gets sick. She's always around her grandkids, and she's not scared to be around sick people because her immune system is so strong. She lives a healthy lifestyle and is really focused on nourishing her gut microbiome, and therefore her immune system is incredible. Talk about goals. There's a reason why RFK Jr. has been telling us to eat more kimchi.
Yeah, that's interesting. We have a display graphic here. Study kimchi can prevent food poisoning. I think it's incredible. Like, one of the things that I think that people should understand, and you mentioned it just recently, is how important the gut is. Like, if your gut is messed up, it will affect all kinds of different things in your body that you're not very aware of. But let's continue to talk through this.
Yeah, I love this topic because years ago I used to have gut problems. And then once I cleaned up my diet, suddenly nothing at all. So in this particular study, it highlighted kimchi's ability to prevent food poisoning because of its strong antimicrobial properties. Now, kimchi helps your body fight off viruses like the flu. One recent study found that kimchi can slow down the growth of the common flu. And a big reason for that is because it supports your immune system. So just think of kimchi as helping your immune system to stay balanced. It strengthens important immune cells that act like scouts, spotting viruses early. At the same time, it helps regulate your body's response so it doesn't overreact. That matters because in some serious infections, it's not just the virus that causes damage, it's the body going into overdrive with too much inflammation. And kimchi has been shown to significantly reduce inflammation and oxidative stress. During the early days of COVID-19, South Korea had a much lower death rate compared to every other country. And some researchers believe that it's because of Korea's high daily intake of kimchi that may have played a role. Kimchi is packed with bioactive compounds and probiotics that may make it harder for viruses to enter human cells. This same thing was also noticed during the 2003 SARS outbreak. South Korea reported 0 deaths, and researchers again looked at kimchi's antiviral and probiotic properties as the determining factor. Kimchi has amazing antifungal properties due to being rich in beneficial bacteria like Lactobacillus plantarum and Lactobacillus sakei. As kimchi ferments, these bacteria produce natural compounds that make it nearly impossible for molds and yeasts to grow. In lab studies, certain strains found in kimchi have reduced the growth of harmful molds like Aspergillus by up to 97%. They basically create an acidic, unfriendly environment that fungi cannot thrive in. So kimchi's probiotics have also been shown to prevent candida. It's a common yeast that can overgrow, especially after taking antibiotics. So if antibiotics have wiped out some of your good bacteria, fermented foods like kimchi can help to rebuild that protective layer. In simple terms, kimchi helps your body crowd out fungi, bacteria, and even parasites while strengthening your natural defenses at the same time. The key to fostering an environment where your immune system can thrive is daily consumption, and that's why we created Kimchi One. It has all of the power of kimchi in a convenient capsule. Whether you enjoy kimchi or not, it's not one of those foods that you want to eat every day. It's one of those foods where it just might sit in your fridge all the time. That's how I was until I found this product. So we use a cold process drying method that retains all of the fiber and nutrition of actual fermented kimchi. Kimchi One is low in sodium, unlike store-bought. It's 100% made in the USA, which is essential for ensuring quality. It's all natural, non-GMO. And we have so many success stories that I'd like to share with you if you have a moment. So people who had problems with their digestion and bloating are regular now. People who had problems with their immune system and used to get sick all the time aren't getting sick anymore. People who were dealing with brain fog and problems with their mood are now thinking clearly and have a positive outlook. And there's also a study showing kimchi helped overweight people lower their body fat by 31.8%. So maybe I could get on another time and talk about how that may be better than some other popular weight loss products on the market.
Yeah. Let's get. We got another graphic here. Can you pull that graphic up? You know, it's funny. It's funny because all the guys here freaking love kimchi. They love Kimchi One. And it is absolutely incredible. But anyway, you got a special presentation for the audience, for people that follow me. Can you tell us more about that?
We sure do. Okay, so we are giving 25% off for people who click the link below and use the code Tatum. Or you can call 888-751-4429 for up to 50% off plus free shipping. Also, we have another special bonus. The first 100 callers will get a free bottle of Revive capsules with their order. Revive is another great product that we sell. It contains 5 types of collagen, hyaluronic acid, biotin, and vitamin C to reduce wrinkles, help you grow thicker, healthier hair, and even support stronger bones and joints. So remember, it's important to note that you can only get the best discounts and the free bottle of Revive capsules when you call. So again, that number is 888-751-4429.
And guys, if you missed it, we'll put the link in the description section. Allison, thank you so much. It's been incredibly informative, and we need to make sure that we're increasing our kimchi intake because I don't need anybody getting sick with explosive diarrhea at the headquarters. I'm talking to my staff too. So, Allison, thank you so much for coming on. God bless you, and I appreciate you guys.
Same to you. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Allison Karpowicz, incredible health advisor at Brightcore, our friends over there. And make sure you taking some kimchi. Go check it out. Link is in the description section. You don't want to have explosive diarrhea, or at least if you get it, you'll fare better if you got kimchi in your system.